Story begins at the end of the 17th century. The governor's daughter, a young lady Elizabeth, finds a boy Will in the middle of the ocean in an exploded ship. She removes the pirate mark from the guy so that he is not killed. Yes, in such a beautiful character of Knightley, Elizabeth grew up 10 years later. Will grew up in Orlando Bloom and is madly in love with the Saviour, but she has already made a proposal to Commander James Norrington. At this moment, Jack Sparrow arrives in Port Royal. Captain Jack Sparrow. He drives the ship away alone to return his black pearl, but notices a girl falling from the cliff and saves her. Despite all the heroism of Jack's act, Elizabeth's fiancé is going to execute him. But this is Captain Jack Sparrow. What will happen to him? The pirate runs away, hides in the forge, where Will Turner works. A fight between the heroes begins, in which Jack gets a blow to the head, again finds himself in prison and prepares for a death penalty. Meanwhile, Captain Barbassa arrives in Port Royal with his black pearl. In short, it used to be Jack's ship, but the pirates rebelled, landed him on the island, left one bullet and sailed away. And Jack escaped from there on turtles. Now the pirates are looking for the medallion that Elizabeth put on. It is presented to them by the name of Turner, and she is taken prisoner. Having discovered the disappearance of her beloved, William gathers in pursuit and seeks help from Jack. They hijack the ship, go to the pirate base to recruit a new team. Meanwhile, Barbassa tells Elizabeth about the Aztec gold that the Pearl team stole. 663 coins, cursed by the gods, forever changed the crew of the Pearl. Now they are immortal ghosts and lead a rather disgusting existence. To remove the curse, they must return all the coins to their place and wash away the blood of each cursed pirate. It sounds simple, but one of the pirates is gone, namely Will's dad, and Barbassa, thinking that Elizabeth is Turner's daughter-in-law, decides that she can help remove the curse. Realizing that the trick didn't work, the captain throws the girl into the water, but Will saves her along with the medallion. However, during the rescue operation, Jack is taken prisoner. Will and the team sail away, but the Pearl is the fastest ship in the world, and nothing can be done here. Will is taken prisoner, and Jack and Elizabeth land on the island, where once the pirates left a sparrow with one bullet. It turns out that he ran away from there not on turtles, but with the help of smugglers who store goods on the island. For example, rum. Elizabeth came up with the idea to set fire to the fuel, so that they could be seen by the ships of the Royal Fleet, and it works, so that Jack is not executed. He agrees to lead the fleet to the cherished island, and comes up with a plan on which he will lure the ship, and the commander shoots the Pearl. Betty tried to explain that the team is immortal, but who listened to her? The Sparrow sails to the island, warns Barbassa about the ambush, and the team goes into battle. A fight breaks out between the captains, and Jack is put on a saber. But here's a surprise, he's also cursed now. The Sparrows spend the last bullet on the immortal Barbassa, but, surprise, Will removes the curse. The team, realizing that they have lost the advantage, surrenders to the authorities. Jack is still wanted to be executed, but it seems that this trinity has become very friendly, and their adventures are just beginning. The impressed commander gives Jack a day off, and the pirate sails on the Pearl. The second film begins with the soldiers of the Ostend Company arresting Will and Elizabeth for helping Jack. It was organized by Lord Cutler Beckett, an old enemy of Jack, who dreams of getting the Sparrow's compass. The magic compass points not to the north, but to what a person wants most. Clearly, the Lord wants money, such a greedy official. Betty remains in prison, and Will is sent in search of Jack, but then she will escape anyway. Meanwhile, our favorite pirate is busy looking for a key that should open something very cool, but he has so many key drawings, and in the ship's trunk, he suddenly meets an old friend, Will's dad, Turner's son-in-law. He serves on the ship of David Jones, to whom Jack owes 100 years of service for 13 years of possession of the Pearl. By the way, the Dutch team was not always so scary. In fact, initially David Jones was an ordinary pirate, but then he fell in love with the goddess Calypso. She entrusted him to send souls of people who died at sea to that light, but she allowed him to go ashore only once every 10 years. And one day she did not come to meet him. He got angry, gave her to the first union of pirate barons, which included the goddess in the body of a woman. Jones cut out his heart, put it in a chest, becoming the eternal captain of the Flying Dutchman. But Calypso, it turns out, cursed him, and the spell that gave him and his team eternal life made them such freaks. If Jack does not fulfill the conditions, Kraken will come for him, so the Sparrows should hurry ashore, because there you can at least somehow save yourself. Will finds pirates on the island of Ice Eaters. There Jack became a local god, but he does not know that he is going to be eaten. But this is Jack Sparrow, of course. He escapes with the whole team and goes to the fortune teller, Theodolma. There they find out that this is a key from the chest with the heart of David Jones, and the one who has this heart will repair the seas for himself. Also, the sorceress points out to Jack where Nettie is a Dutchman and gives a jar of earth to protect from David Jones, who cannot step on land. Will goes to the ship for the key, but falls into captivity. Jones gives Jack 3 days to bring him another 99 souls, otherwise Kraken and all the cases. Jack goes to Tortuga to collect there from the local scoundrel 99 souls, and accidentally meets there the commander of James Norrington from the first part of The Bride of Elizabeth, who by this moment, already undercover, got to Tortuga. As a result, both end up in his team. Meanwhile, Will finds out where Jones keeps the key, steals it, promises his father to return, and sails to the island with the chest. There Jack and Elizabeth arrive with a new team, and of course, the team of the Black Pearl. On the island, many fights begin, as a result of which the jar with the heart of David Jones is in the hands of Norrington, who receives a pardon and the rank of Admiral, and Jack, thanks to Elizabeth, becomes the Eton Kraken. He paid for the debt, so now you can save him from that world. To do this, Theodolma even revives Barbassa. At the beginning of the third film, the situation is as follows. The East India Company, with the help of David Jones, has practically exterminated all the pirates. Will, Elizabeth and Barbassa in Singapore are trying in every possible way to get the map that will lead them to Jack and the ship on which they could sail. As a result, they persuade the local pirate baron, ZFEI, to help them, and they go beyond the edge of the world, where Jack gradually goes crazy. On board, the pearls are stuck in the sand. It's good that crabs help him. Don't ask why, just crabs help, and that's it. They push the ship to the place of the crash of his friends, after which they all get out of this mystical place together. Here ZFEI attacks the pearls, who agreed with Will about his deal. Z gets Jack, and Will gets the ship to save his father. So the Sparrow is in the hands of Beckett. Barbassa and Elizabeth beg ZFEI to go to the pirate baron's meeting. FEI agrees, because he believes that Elizabeth is the incarnation of the goddess Maria Calypso, whom the council must free, since she is the only one who can defeat David Jones, and he takes the girl with him. In fact, Calypso is Theodolma's witch, but Eddie goes to the council so-so, because Jack gave up the location of the council to Beckett and promised to ambush the pirates, so that he did not tell David Jones about the wonderful salvation of the Sparrow. Then Jack returns to the Pearl and throws Will into the Casa for treason. The Dutchman attacks Z-Fei's ship. The captain dies, but transfers the symbol of power to Elizabeth and appoints her a pirate baron instead of himself. Norrington throws Elizabeth into the Dutchman's prison, where she meets Will's father. He tells her that Will will have to choose between saving his father and his love, since after killing Jones, he will become the captain of the Dutchman and will be able to step ashore only once every 10 years. Norrington helps Elizabeth escape. At this time, Will runs out of the Pearl's Casa, tries to leave signals to Beckett from the corpses in the sea, but Jack throws Will himself into the water, saying goodbye to the magic compass. As a result, all the pirates finally gather at the meeting of the barons. Soon they find out that the Beckett's armada is moving on them and decide what to do. Stay in the protected citadel or go to battle, as Elizabeth suggests, but only the pirate king can start the war. But all the barons, as always, vote for themselves, except for Jack. He votes for Elizabeth, and she declares war on the East Indies Company. Meanwhile, Will is saved by Beckett, and they find a bay of pirates on the compass. In the morning, two armadas meet opposite each other, and the main character goes to negotiations. Will is replaced by Jack. Beckett asks the Pirate King to surrender, but she is unwavering, and Barbassa steals the captain's peasant Sparrow to free the goddess Calypso. But she is so angry at everyone around her that she falls asleep on 1,000 crabs and arranges a giant whirlpool. The lady got up without standing. The Dutchman and the Pearl meet at the whirlpool. Jack escapes from captivity and steals Jones' heart, while he steals the key. A fight ensues between them. The key and the chest fall on the Dutchman. The ships go overboard, while Jack and Will ask Barbassa to marry them. Not the best moment, but better than ever. Will fights with his father, who does not recognize him, and Jones pierces the younger Turner with a sword. Here, Dad understands what's going on and attacks Jones. He almost loses, but Jack helps Will drop the villain in the very heart. He falls into the whirlpool. Jack and Elizabeth are saved, and Will's father cuts out his son's heart and puts a chest instead of Jones' heart. The Pearl goes on a desperate attack against the flagman Burke, but suddenly a Dutchman is shown from under the water under the guidance of a new captain. Burke dies, and his armada hurries to retreat. Will frees his father from duty, but he asks his son to leave him in charge. A little later, Will meets Elizabeth on the island, gives her his heart, and then sails for a long time, 10 years, to send people's souls to the other world and be a normal Dutch captain.